Welcome to another video. So today we will be discussing about the types of speciation. So there are four major types of speciation. We'll go through each of them one by one. So first up is the allopatric speciation. Now let us see what happens in an allopatric speciation. Before that, I just want to let you know that speciation means the formation of new species. So here we are actually seeing the ways in which new species are formed. So here is the diagrammatic representation. In allopatric speciation, you have your original species that is basically separated by some type of physical barrier or some, as we call it, as geographical barrier. Maybe there was a river that was formed that separated these two, or maybe some disaster caused the separation of this whatsoever. Some kind of geographical barrier like a river, a mountain, etc. had been formed, because of which these two species got separated and were isolated. So these two have given rise to two new types of species. This is called as allopatric speciation. Let's see an example. So there was a formation of the Grand Canyon which caused the separation of these species of squirrels, one called as the kebab squirrels and the other one the abert squirrels. These two squirrels are new species, as you can see, and they do not interbreed because obviously there is such a big barrier in between them. So this is called as allopatric. Next up is sympatric speciation. Now in this, the original species is in some shape or form isolated from the other. So inside this whole population, a small number of population develops which doesn't mate with this or doesn't breed with this. So inside this whole population, there's no separation as such, there's no barrier, a physical barrier. However, it gives rise to another different species inside this. Okay, now this is called as sympatric, wherein because of this thing itself, this separation, this formation of a new species inside another species, you get a new species that has come up. Okay, now in this, one thing you have to remember is this is quite a slow process and it leads to something called as genetic polymorphism. Hold up, you will understand this better with an example. So these are two types of flies, one of whom lays eggs on the apples. So these are called as apple flies, and these are called as the hawthorn fruits, and these flies lay eggs on these. So initially these used to lay eggs on these used to lay eggs on these. And because of long term the deposition of eggs on these different fruits, these flies started mating with only those who laid eggs here. Similarly this, so there appeared to be a genetic isolation. So the place was the same. Okay, there was no barrier as such, no physical barriers that were separating this. However, because of their different behaviors, laying eggs at different, uh, fruits, they basically form two different species of flies. So this is called as sympatric. Sim because together, they were together and they formed this new species. Okay. Next up is parapatric speciation, wherein the original species, some of the members, they separate out or they bud out. Okay, and they occupy another niche. Okay, so a new niche is formed and this is just adjacent to the original one. So this is the older niche. Some population or some members bud off and occupy a new niche. Now the speciality about the parapatric speciation is that the two species that are formed, these two new species, they can interbreed with each other. However, they don't. Why? We will see. So this is an example of, or rather I must say it's an illustration of what the parapatric speciation is. So basically, see, you can see that always these guys will choose a mate that is closer to itself. So you can see that in the original species, the probability that these two will mate is very high as compared to the one right here, a very low chance. And because of this selective mating through small place, so you can imagine this to be like the close place, right? So these two are close, this is far apart, so the chances of mating decrease as the distance would increase. And over a generation you will have three different types, wherein one is this original purple, one is the brownish one, and there is one that is green. And this green is a hybrid, because as I just said, in parapatric speciation there can be hybrids. However, a point to note is that the hybrids would only breed with the hybrids and not the individual species from which it has arisen. Okay, let's go for an example to this. So the example of parapatric speciation is these grass. So one of these type of grass grew on only the mine waste, that is the ones that were highly contaminated with heavy metals, and the other that grew on uncontaminated soil. Now both of these selectively breed amongst themselves only, that is the contaminated grass going on contaminated soil would breed among themselves and the mine waste among themselves. Okay, so there is an isolation, but it is not a reproductive one. What is separating these two then? It is a different time of flowering. So when this flowers, this is not. So this is ready for reproduction, however this isn't. So therefore, because of this timing, these tend to interbreed among themselves and they grow further. Not that these two can't interbreed, they can, because they're not reproductively isolated. This reduces the gene flow, obviously. So this is the grass species in which this is seen. Next and the last type of speciation is the peripatric speciation. So in a peripatric, similar to a parapatric, some would bud off and occupy the new niche. However, this niche is isolated, meaning these two species can no longer breed with each other. Like here they could breed, right? However, here they cannot interbreed with each other. This is called as a peripatric speciation. Now, let us see an example. So, these are two different types of flies called as the mainland and the island flies. These flies are reproductively isolated, meaning the mainland flies only reproduce with the other mainland fly species and the island flies with the other. This is also called as founder species. Why? Because imagine these all were in one common setup, and some of them migrated to the other island. Say suppose a new island was formed, so some flies from the mainland went to the island, and now they got reproductively isolated over the generations. So now they can only breed amongst themselves and not with each other. So this is called as the founder effect, and this is reproductively isolated. Peri comes from the word periphery, because they have been isolated from the periphery, right? From the borders, it's gone to other place. The difference between peri and para, that in parapatric, the two species can still reproduce, can still interbreed. However, here there is no possibility of interbreeding because they are reproductively isolated. So that's all for me from today. If you liked it, if you understood, please subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments if you want me to do further videos like this. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.